Enggak.
Ini aku pakai email yang lain ternyata harus registrasi. Iya, karena pakai emailnya yang tidak didaftarkan. Daftarkan nggak deh? Rinatan. Ini kan aku lagi. Wah, hati nggak mau. Gimana?
Gue lupa lu nggak ada yang bisa unmute ya. Mohon maaf sebelumnya.
Ini Mbak, gua kirim sekarang ke lu ya. Adinda ya. Gmail, Adinda, Sis sama Hadi. Dah, sekarang.
Mana lu Zoom mana?
Si Tanaka udah nungguin tuh. Oh, udah.
Nah, maksudnya biar nggak mentok ini.
Iya. Apa gue pindah sini? Kita minum kan, Pak?
Nih, tulisannya si greeting from-nya itu agak jelek tuh. Engineer has entered.
Oke. In 5 minutes ya. Oke, in 5 minutes.
Mbak. Lo kalau gue mundurin dikit, gue baca nggak?
Baca.
Coba. Center.
Oh, in case ini ada perubahan sedikit, is oke ya. Kalau
Iya.
dia marah banget, kita rubah aja.
Nanti mau bilang aja. Kalau itu nanti gue edit.
Mendingan lu ganti aja deh, Mbak. Greeting from Tokyo aja langsung Tokyo lu gedein.
Oh, dari gue?
Backgroundnya dari dia. Hai Andy.
Can you mic test? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Great.
Gue nggak perlu pakai ini kan? Nggak apa-apa. So we start in 4 minutes ya, for briefing everything.
Sure. I just came back from a run, so made it in time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, usually I do long run on Tuesday, but I break up morning and evening today.
How many kilometers?
Usually I do 20 on Tuesday, slow and easy. Tomorrow, because usually I do hard session on Wednesday.
Oh my
So
God.
today I just split into 10 in the morning, 10 in the evening.
Oh, did you meet Tanaka-san?
Not yet.
He's there, I think. Tanaka-san.
I think he's muted.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Anyway, should I flash my slides or?
Donnie will handle it if you
Okay.
want. Yeah, so you just give a instruction next or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait a minute, so I need to plug my computer. Oh. Mbak, saya Tanaka-san mau dong dimasukin. Tanaka-san di unmute.
Mana Mbak Tanaka-san, Mbak?
He's there.
Which one?
Theo. And Jipang is already there. Jimmy already there. Ada nggak?
Belum?
Aduh, Tanaka-san. I don't know where is he.
Tio Tanaka ya? Sudah.
Ya, Theo Tanaka.
Mana di gua nggak ada.
Aku sudah masuk. Aku jadi udah jadi kok.
Mana Tio Tanaka nggak ada di gua.
Tanaka-san.
Aku nggak pakai Ilham Muhammad. Aku pakai yang
Video apa? Di ini no.
Kenitan. Tio
Kenitan, no,
Tanaka nggak ada.
not Kenitan. Jimmy Pangestu and Tanaka-san.
Di aku nggak ada, Mbak.
Wait.
Di aku cuma ada Linda Atmaja sama Kenitan.
Oh, no, no. Oh my gosh, Tanaka-san. Kok muka gue jadi begitu sih? Ini si Jipang belum masuk-masuk loh. Jimmy Pangestu. Dia nggak bisa masuk. Lu belum daftarin ya?
Udah didaftar Mas, dua-duanya tadi yang Jimmy sama Tito udah gue daftarin kok, baru udah masuk.
Udah daftarin?
Udah.
Hello birthday girl. Happy birthday. Ini ya vouchernya dan ini kacamatanya. Nanti dijelasin nanti ini kacamatanya dari HM Sport.
Oke. Bentar minum dong.
Sebentar ya.
Aus, men.
Nah, gitu.
Cukup. Sorry, Andy, we are waiting for Tanaka-san.
No problem. Drinking sake, is it?
I think he's having beer now. Mbak, dia belum terima-terima loh, Jipang sama Tanaka-san. Belum bisa masuk.
Ini udah dimasukin?
Udah.
Dia terbuka email belum?
Thank you.
Kamu nggak butuh? Serius? Itu mau minta apa?
Vouchernya sudah satu.
Nah,
Berarti buat penanya
kalau yang kacamata buat yang terbaik.
yang terbaik.
Itu dari HM Sport.
Nih, si Jimmy udah on the line, belum dimasukin.
Oh, oke.
Sama Tanaka-san juga.
Mantap ya.
Hai Rina.
Hi. Oh, there's Jimmy ya. So we wait for Tanaka-san.
Oke.
So and Jimmy, this
Yeah.
is Andy. Andy is a champion from Singapore.
Hi,
Andy.
Jimmy. Nice to meet
Nice-
you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yes. Hopefully next time if I go Indonesia to run, when the situation is better, you bring me around.
Oh,
Show me around.
definitely.
Together with Rina. Yeah. I need to know how running
my honor.
culture in Indonesia.
But sudah, okay, fine, good. All in now. There it is. Tanaka-san.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, Tanaka-san?
Hi. Sorry.
How are you, Tanaka-san? I can see.
Fine, thank you.
So Tanaka-san, please meet Andy Neo.
Hello, Tanaka-san. Nice to meet
Sorry
you.
about that.
No worries.
Yeah.
And Jimmy is from Indonesia.
I'm Mr. Tanaka-san.
Hello, Neil. How are you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Tanaka.
So we have a few minutes for
Hello, how are you
the
doing? Jimmy, nice to see you. Right. Yeah, me too. Good.
Mr.
So-
Tanaka-san? Mr. Tanaka-san? Can you hear me?
Tanaka-san.
Maybe.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
My ASICS think
Yes.
ASIC
I can
friend,
hear you.
my ASIC friend from HQ
Yeah, you-
Japan, asked me to send their regards to you, the sports marketing team. ASIC in Japan, my colleagues, they're sending their regards to you.
All right. Good. All right. Good.
Jam ini nih, Mbak, ya.
Yeah.
Kerja dulu.
Thank you very much.
Udah sampai belakang, habis saya.
Thank you.
Buat Maria. Kalau udah sampai belakang, mah bakal dapat lagi. Kamu satu lagi. Hah?
So Tanaka-san, Andy and Jimmy, I will brief a bit for tonight before we start.
Okay.
So before we start, I will give introduction in Bahasa and also in English. Because the audience will prefer in Bahasa Indonesia. So I will read a bit about your bio from each of you.
Okay.
And then after I read the bio, and then I will go to Tanaka-san first. Then I will give you some personal question that I sent the email already, Tanaka-san.
I think he was dropped. He got
Connection.
disconnected. Yeah.
The connection is so bad, I think, his connection.
It's coming back.
Tanaka-san, don't go. He's muted, Tanaka-san. So, and then I continue, and then I go first with Tanaka-san, and then I go to Andy, and then the third one is Jimmy Pangestu.
Okay.
And then I will read a bit about the rules before we start the webinar. Okay. Until from here, you get any question?
Nope.
All right.
Yeah.
And then I will start with Tanaka-san, how he he will share the experience with us, how he start with the Tokyo Marathon, everything. And,
Right.
And then after that, we take a break for a few seconds to show the slide from the sponsors. After that, I will go to Andy. And Andy, you got all of the question, yeah?
Yeah.
And then if you want to show your slide, you just give me the instruction, then Donnie will handle it.
Okay. So how much time I have for the slides? At least I know what.
I think we can have for you around 10 to 15 minutes in total for this session.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, and because I will give you also some 4 questions. Okay?
Yep.
That I send you already on email.
Yeah.
And then we take a break for a few seconds for the sponsors, and then I go to Jimmy. Jimmy, I will give you a few questions, and then you can tell, you can share your experience about how you earned the Boston qualified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after that, we go for the sponsors, and then I will go to the session that I will give the 3 of you the question. I have around 9 questions in total.
Okay.
And then you can explain how your, you can take your time during this session. No need to rush, and then because we have time.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably we will have 1.5 hours, or probably 1:45 minutes. 1 hour 45 minutes.
So would that be a Q&A at the end, or?
And then after I go for the 9th question,
Yep.
then we go for the question and Q&A session.
Those would be from the public.
Yeah, and then I will pick up some question. Then I will give the answer to your turn to answer the question lah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then after that I will brief a bit. Say something for the closing, and then And then for the last part, you have to give the tips and tricks for the runners here in Indonesia. Okay, all good, Tanaka-san? Tanaka-san, unmuted. Nah, you bilangin aja. Tanaka-san, oh I need to. Lu ngomong masih Andy lah, Andy.
Yeah.
He grant already the access. Udah.
Is there any issue?
No, Doni needs your access to your CV.
I have email.
Yeah, I told him already.
Yeah.
And I sent an email to you lah. The CV. Did you give it to him? Udah aku kirim kok, Dinda. Ini Dinda nih. CV-nya udah semua. Video yuk. Now we test the video ya from the sponsor.
Okay.
Mas Ari boleh coba.
Tanaka-san.
Dia di mute ya.
No, I think his connection is bad.
Okay.
That's right. I don't know. It's, my connection is very bad.
Tanaka-san. Hah? Udah. Slide-nya udah ya? Vouchernya sama ini ada makan yang dari apa? Random. Oke ya. Tanaka-san. Tanaka-san, I'm really worried about his connection now. Tanaka-san. Tanaka-san.
What happened?
Your connection. Tanaka-san. You find a good internet lah.
It's, yeah. Internet connection is very bad. I don't know, just
Fine. I think you find the right spot for you now.
yeah. ダメかな。
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
All right, that's good.
Much better now.
Yeah, all right, that's good. All right. All right.
That's a nice picture.
All right. Okay. Good.
Oh, I can see you. Tanaka-san, can you hear me before?
Yes, I can hear you. All right.
Okay. Okay, what happened with your beard?
All right. Because it's I'm lazy to shave my beard.
It slow down your
Yeah.
pace. When you have a long beard,
Right.
it slow down your pace.
Right.
Okay, we will start soon.
All right. Okay.
Okay, we open
All right.
the participant now. We have 135 who registered for this webinar.
Okay.
Normally we have
All right.
more than that, but because the long weekend and Udah buka. Let me know ya. Mbak, yang nempelin nongolin Mbak itu semuanya ini kan? Yang nongolin gaya bayinya Mbak? Nanti ada?
Sesuai instruksi aja kalau pas makan. Tapi aku biasanya
Is Tanaka still there? You let me know when I start. Probably 5 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
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 Thank you so much, guys.
partisipan, kita tunggu ini kalau biar mereka lihat ini.
So did you run today, Tanaka-san?
Yeah, I did. I did. I think 12K.
Okay.
I ran 12K today.
And Jimmy? What about you, Jimmy?
I did 10K. I just finished my 10K.
Oh, you just same as Andy.
That's
Yeah, I'm more on the afternoon runner than the morning runner.
Well, we have plenty of time right now.
Yeah, exactly.
How's the weather in Indonesia? Is it hot, humid, super hot and humid?
Today was okay because right before I ran, it was just finished raining, so the wind is really cool.
Nice.
Singapore humid?
Yeah, but past few days it has been raining very heavily. So just now it was happened to be same situation as yours. Just finished the rain, so it's a bit cooling. It's not that bad after the rain. Yeah. So Jimmy, I saw your timing 3:03. So next attempt will be sub 3.
That's the plan, but
nice.
we'll see.
You should ask Andy, Jimmy.
I know. Maybe I should be the one who asks the question later.
Exactly.
You're there. You're almost there. 3:03. Very, very close to sub 3. The holy grail.
There you go.
Yeah.
How long have you been running, Andy?
Self-coach, I about 10 to 11 years of self-coaching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I graduated with a degree in sports, so I applied the training concept on myself.
I see.
So it wasn't an easy path because, you know, as a self-coach, you always have you make a lot of mistakes along the way. Yeah.
Trial error, right?
Yeah, trial and error, correct.
Yeah, yeah.
But right now I have a training group, so I will make sure that they don't make the same mistake as me. So it cut down on their time, so they actually improve much faster without making a lot of mistakes.
Oh, that's very
So I think that's the advantage having a coach or a mentor who can help you to analyze your training program, and so that you don't waste so much time in train, and then after that you find yourself stagnant too long.
Right, right. Totally agree with you. Yeah. Not mentioning the injury, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So you self-train or you have a coach?
I think I was self-trained for, let me see, 2012 to 2018. So 6 years self-trained, and then by 2019, like just last 6 months, about 8 months ago now, I signed up for a coach.
Right.
Yeah. And then you're right. Having a coach really helped me out.
Yep.
Ready?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Oke, yuk mulai dulu aja Dinda, nggak apa-apa. Solo nanti nyusul.
Okay, ready?
Oke, ready.
Okay. Okay.
Dinda, ini putih terus. Oke. Dicek dulu semuanya, Mbak.
Greens from Tokyo, not from Tokyo Marathon.
Keket harus didaftarin dulu, Ket. Udah, nih udah. Semua udah. Greeting, bro. Udah. Suara gue masuk dari mana? Gue nggak pegang, gue nggak berani. Kan gue punya alasan. Oke, alasan diterima. Nanti, tuh, suara gue masuk dari mana? Gitu ya. Suara gue masuk dari mana?
Musiknya nggak ada?
Nggak, belum nanti. Pas, kalau ini nggak. Ini juga. Oh, belum masuk.
Oke.
Belum nggak?
Belum pernah nanya ini.
Ari, kalau ada yang mau di-share, boleh di-share dulu, Ri. Ri, satu kali aja, Ri.
Oke, aku share screen lagi. Guys, sudah pada nanyain kata Mbak Lina pesertanya.
Ready? Udah telat 15 menit. Kenapa ya, Mbak?
Mas Hadi.
Tuh, nggak dikasih masuk. Pasti kan nggak dikasih masuk loh.
Sudah semua?
Ini masih banyak yang nggak dikasih masuk nih.
Emang belum dikasih masuk ya?
Yuk, udah yuk. Udah jauh 15 menit telat. Udah banyak yang nanyain. Mbak, ini kenapa ya? Udah pada nanya itu. Oke.
Mas Hadi ini udah dibagi admit apa belum? Gue bisa.
Bisa, udah bisa admit semua, monggo silakan. Yuk, jalan. Thank you all.
Udah telat lama nih, Mbak. Selamat malam teman-teman, terima kasih sudah berpartisipasi kembali dalam acara Zoom Live malam ini. Malam ini kita mempunyai kesempatan yang sangat luar biasa, berbeda dari sebelum-sebelumnya, karena malam ini kita akan membicarakan topik yaitu berlari dengan lebih cerdas atau lebih pintar dalam bahasa Indonesianya. Malam ini kita akan mendapatkan tamu yang sangat istimewa masing-masing dari kontinen negara tetangga kita, yaitu adalah Jepang, Indonesia, dan Singapura. Sebelum kita menampilkan 3 tamu malam ini, saya akan memperkenalkan satu persatu, yaitu Mr. Manabu Tanaka dari Tokyo, Japan. Mr. Tanaka merupakan salah satu orang yang sangat berpartisipasi dalam Tokyo Marathon karena experience beliau yang sudah melampaui 50 tahun di dunia atletik di Jepang. Dan kedua adalah Mr. Andy Neo dari Singapura. Mr. Andy Neo merupakan salah satu avid runners yang ada di Singapura yang mempunyai juga kelompok lari yang bernama Backkickers. Beliau sudah mencapai banyak prestasi dalam beberapa lomba lari besar di Singapura. Dan juga yang ketiga kita punya Jimmy Pangestu dari Indonesia yang barusan saja mencapai Boston Qualified dengan hasil 3 jam 3 menit. Sebelum kita memulai webinar malam ini, saya akan memberitahukan beberapa aturan selama acara berlangsung, yaitu pastikan speaker peserta dalam keadaan menyala. Untuk pengalaman webinar yang maksimal, aktifkan mode gallery view dan full screen di Zoom Anda. Mikrofon peserta secara otomatis akan di-off dan hanya bisa dinyalakan oleh admin. Untuk bertanya, peserta menggunakan fitur obrolan yang terdapat di bagian di bawah layar Anda. Apabila teman-teman mempunyai kendala teknis selama webinar berlangsung, gunakan fitur raise hand untuk mendapatkan bantuan dari admin kami. Saya akan repeat dari dalam bahasa Inggris. Make sure all participants have their speakers on. To get the best webinar experience, please turn on the gallery view and full screen mode on Zoom. All participant audio will be automatically on mute. Only the host can turn on the audio. For question, participant can use the chat feature at the bottom of the screen. If there are any problem during the webinar, participant can use the raise hand feature to get help. Before we start, let's have a look at the biography of Tanaka-san, Andy Neo, and Jimmy Pangestu. Let's start. Tanaka-san lahir di Jepang pada tanggal 5 Mei 13, 1950. Tepatnya di kota Nagaoka City, dan beliau saat ini menikah dan mempunyai 2 anak yang sudah beranjak dewasa. Dan akademik historinya mungkin saya nggak perlu bacakan ya karena sudah melebihi 1 kertas. Tapi yang perlu kita garis bawahi adalah Tanaka-san akan berumur 70 tahun, tepatnya berumur 70 tahun ini, tapi beliau tetap masih aktif berlari dan masih ikut dalam beberapa maraton kelas dunia. Now we go for Andy. This is Andy Neo biography. Andy Neo is 41 years old. Pemenang dari S kategori marathoner. menyelesaikan studinya di Sport Education di Monash University Australia, dan sebelum full time sebagai pelari, beliau bekerja sebagai Regional Sport Marketing Manager di perusahaan sepatu bermerek Essex, dan saat ini Andy Neo bekerja sebagai freelance project consultant. Dan beberapa prestasi yang sudah diraih oleh Andy Neo adalah self-coaching since 2008 for marathon, runs 8 times sub 3 hours marathon category, and then achieved as a winner Singapore Master Champion in 2019, and then former chief trainer for Singapore Running Club. Now he has his own running club, Back Kickers Training Group in 2018. Now we go for Jimmy Pangestu. Jimmy Pangestu is a father with 2 kids, right, Jimmy? And then he's still working as a full time in the PT Sparindo Food and some other things. And then he also he is an entrepreneur with a food and beverage business. And then he started running in 2000, correct?
Yes.
And then after a few years, then he finally achieved the Boston Qualified. And then before we go to for the question and then sharing knowledge with the 3 of them, let's have a look at our sponsors. Hai Raras. Jelek sih, Mbak. Sinyal ya. Hello, welcome back. And then let's start with Tanaka-san. Tanaka-san, you there?
Yeah.
Tanaka-san.
Yes.
How are you, Tanaka-san?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, how are you, Tanaka-san?
I'm fine. I'm very good. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we would like to hear your experience because we know that you run since very early young age, and you're still running right until now, correct?
Yes, that's right. But you know, when I was young, I mean, high school, junior high school, and also university. At that time, I was a sprinter, not marathoner.
Okay.
And yes, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Because actually we are in Indonesia, are very new with the running industry here. So we don't have a lot of races for the last 10 years. And so, I mean, like we are also very concerned about what age we have to start, what age we have to stop. And then, so would you please share your experience with us, how you start? But first of all, we want to hear your experience, how you started to set up one of the biggest marathon in the world.
Well, when I joined the Tokyo Marathon Organizing Committee, it was in 2005. I think late winter. At that time, Tokyo Metropolitan Government asked to the Japanese Track and Field Federation to establish the race such as World Marathon Majors race in Japan.
Okay. And
So-
then how you start?
Yes, and at that time I was, working for the Japanese Federation, and my boss told me that, I should join the, team of the, establishment of the new bigger race. Citizen race over maybe 30,000 people race.
30,000 people.
Yes, and usually even world marathon majors or other big races, there, at the beginning maybe 100 or 200 participants, then increase every year, and maybe it took more than maybe 10 to 20 years to grow over maybe 10,000 people. But at that time, Governor Ishihara asked us to establish the over 25,000 full marathon runners and also over 5,000 10K runners together, starts together. So it means over 30,000, runners go, at once. So it was, it's a big, decision, because used to be in Japan, we had only elite race, like Tokyo International Marathon, Lake Biwa Marathon, or Fukuoka International Marathon. Those races only we had maybe in between 200 to 300 just elites, not for the citizen.
Okay. So
And yeah, so Governor Ishihara asked us to establish a race as over 30,000 people run, and also maximum, limitation of the race will be 7 hours, within 7 hours. But from start to end of the line, so there are lots of people to wait to through the start line. It takes more than 20 minutes. So we decide maximum time will be the 6 hours 40 minutes.
oh wow, that's pretty fast for the marathon.
That's right. Yeah. But anyway, I joined the team at that time, 2 from a federation, myself, and also my boss, and also 5 people from Tokyo Metropolitan Government. So 7 people started the, this organization at just 2 years before the race.
Okay. So Tanaka-san.
So yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So like we all know that the
Okay.
Tokyo Marathon is one of the famous marathon in the world. Why is that? Like why everybody wants to run Tokyo Marathon?
Well, I think I tried all world marathon major races except Tokyo. But
I know.
Tokyo is, I think, there are lots of beautiful spots, sightings. Tokyo Tower, or, Imperial House, or other things, there are lots of beautiful, sites. And also, I think, road surface is very, very good. It's very smooth, just flat. And also, there is no, gap. No dump. So runners, it's very easy to, smoothly running very well. And also, no cars, no bicycle, no pedestrians. So, roads on the road, there are only, runners. That itself. That's why I think.
Mm-hmm. Because I ran Tokyo Marathon in 2019, and I ran Berlin in 2016. People said that the Tokyo Marathon and Berlin Marathon are both the best course. The best race to get the personal best. So how do you think about Berlin Marathon? Because it's also flat and it's also nice and it's also beautiful. But for myself experience, I don't mind to run Tokyo 2 times. So yeah, because like, to be honest, the course is quite boring, but I can see the difference from the others country. So how do you what I know how to say that, but how do you make the Tokyo Marathon such a beautiful and excellent race?
Well, until before the Tokyo Marathon established, inaugurated, at that time, we had only elite race, and organization, and also the argument. We had many arguments to the police department. Police department didn't give us good permit. But finally we talked to the police department to establish this race.
So you run Tokyo Marathon, but not as a official in a marathon, right? In an official race.
No.
Yeah. So I still beat you for the 6-star medals, Tanaka-san.
Yeah, I need Tokyo.
Yeah.
Because
Tanaka-san.
Yeah, and every year. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, I try to get big numbers, but it's very difficult get the entry, because our entry is lottery. So I always just applied, but never win.
Okay. Even you found one of the you are one of the founding, and then you make the course, everything, right? So no exception.
Yeah. But I'm worried about if I win it, maybe everyone said, "Oh, you were cheating under the table," or something like that. So that's why I don't force them to accept me. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tanaka-san.
Yes.
We would like to know your secret. Are you still running until today, right? This day you still having a training. How do you keep up your stamina to run and
Yeah, but no reason, but reason is just to drink beer. So that's why I'm running not every day, but recently maybe I'm running every other day, maybe 15 times a month at this moment, maybe close to 200 kilometers a month.
Okay. So do you regularly check up yourself? For the medical checkup, or if before you go for the long course or long race marathon, or do you have a regularly checkup every year, even you don't do the marathon?
Until I retirement, I took many, health examination, but after that, I've never taken any examination, maybe more than 5 years.
Okay, so,
So, yeah.
you recommend that running has no limit, for the people, correct? I mean, like, we don't have a limit, age limit for that. Okay, so
when I was 60 years old, at that time, my doctor said stop drinking or take pill because my blood pressure, sugar rate is very high in my blood. So doctor said stop drinking or take a pill. And I told my doctor I refuse both of them.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah. And then doctor said, how do you control yourself? Then I told my doctor, I will do it by myself, doing walking or running or jogging or something like that. And then my doctor said, okay, if you can do it, you can, up to you. You can, do it yourself. So, but at that time, 60 years old, I had a bad knee. Meniscus was wrong. And
okay.
And my meniscus very bad and I couldn't run very well. But, so I decided go for walk. Not slow walk, but, like less walking, very fast. So maybe more than 30 minutes every day for 6 months. And at that time, my wife said, oh, why you are, limping, running or limping, something like that. And so I told her, no, I'm not running. I just, walking. Then my wife said, oh, why don't you run? So then I decided, okay, maybe I go for the, slow jogging. Then, I could go, 3K and then no problem with my, leg. So maybe after 6 months for my, walking, maybe muscle covers my, meniscus. So now maybe, I should run more than 3K. Then I decided maybe extend to, maybe 1K every month. Then, after 1 year, maybe I could run more than 8K.
So you really
then,
take your
since
time.
then, yeah, that's right. Not starting, maybe, I took a long time to go running for the, maybe more than 1 year to prepare.
Okay. That's good to know. That's a very good tips for us. Teman-teman mungkin sudah mendengar dari Tanah Kasang bahwa beliau sendiri pernah mengalami cedera karena berlari dan mempunyai sedikit kerusakan pada meniskusnya, tapi beliau sendiri mengambil waktu selama 1 tahun untuk kembali berlari. Jadi satu tips yang kita dapatkan dari Tanah Kasang adalah we have to listen to our body and don't give up. Correct, Tanah Kasang? We have to listen to our body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then don't stop.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't stop drink beer. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't stop running.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So beer is not bad, right?
Beer is my energy. My like a gas for car, automobile. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Tanah Kasang. So before we continue for the webinar, let's have a look from the sponsors.
All right.
Yeah. welcome back. Sebelum saya kembali ke memulai ke next pembicara, moderator memberi peserta yang ingin bertanya dapat menuliskan di kolom chat, dan juga pertanyaan yang akan dipilih moderator untuk dibaca dan dijawab pada pembicara malam ini akan mendapatkan hadiah menarik berupa 6 voucher persembahan dari Sasana Sport Visio dan 1 kacamata Goodr untuk pertanyaan yang terbaik persembahan dari HL Sport. Keputusan pemenang mutlak ada di tangan penyelenggara. Okay, then for the next one we go with Andy Neo. Hi Andy.
Hi, Lina.
How are you, Andy?
Good, good. Thanks for inviting me for this opportunity to share with the Indonesians and maybe some Singaporeans here in the webinar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are very happy to have you, because we know that you are very strong coach and a very avid runner from Singapore Marathon, and especially from Singapore, actually, and you have a lot of experience that we would like to hear that from you. So, Andy, would you please tell us about your running experience?
Yeah, it all started when I graduated with my degree in sports education. So when I graduated with the knowledge and I started to pick up running, it's just for fitness. So I never even thought of running even like a 10K or half marathon because I just want to keep fit. So there's one time that I managed to join a local running club that is called Safra Running Club. It's one of the biggest in Singapore. So when I started to join them, I just like run for fun. But then I didn't realize that there are a lot of runners there, like maybe like female runners or older runners who actually can run much faster than me. I thought I was pretty fit at that time, but they were running much faster than me. So something must be wrong here, right? Ladies and more older than me guys are running faster than me. So I'm thinking, this is something wrong here. Maybe I should try to apply some of the training concept on myself. So when I start to apply the concept, I do realize that my improvement got elevated much faster. I improved a lot. So in 2008, I decided, why not? I decided to apply all this training concept to myself and try to attempt a marathon. So yeah, 2008 was the year I started to self-coach myself and to attempt to run marathons. So my first marathon was like 4 hours 50 minutes without any much training. So just run. But then after the marathon, whole body ache and muscle cramp. I cannot even walk. Typically everyone who finish a marathon struggle, walk like a crab.
Yeah.
So that was like I would tell myself I will not want to run a marathon anymore. But then runner is so weird. After you tell yourself I don't want to run a marathon anymore, a few days later you wake up, hey, I think I should sign up. I can try another marathon. So okay, and maybe like 12 months down the road, I try again at a marathon and I cut the timings to almost 1 hour. So my second marathon, I run sub 4, like 3 hours 50 something. So I realized, something is working for me. So I decided to keep, my training recipe and fine tune it. And so through 2008 until now, I see a breakthrough in myself, especially the last few years. That's why last year when I decided to run Seoul Marathon, I ran like a 2 hour 49. So looking back, I see myself from like a 5 hour guys. Now I can run like a 2 hour 49. I see the amount of time I cut almost by half. Yeah.
2 hours 49. That's very fast.
Yeah, thank you. But now I'm like, because age is also not on my side, I'm like 41 this year. I'm already turning to master category. I'm no longer a young man. So I need to again change my training concept because I'm not young anymore. Recovery take longer. I cannot run hard sessions like I used to be because I need more time to recover. So I had to train smarter rather than harder. So that's why I decided to fine tune my training program in such a way that I can help a lot of runners to cut down on their training times. Because a lot of runners, they spend like 5 years, 10 years in training, but they don't see a breakthrough. So maybe somehow I can help them and advise them so that I can modify their training program so that they can actually reduce the time so that they can have a better improvement. Yeah, so again, I don't really run a lot. I mean, in terms of running career, it's maybe like 12 years. Yeah. But 12 years wasn't also very smooth because it's self-coached. So along the way, it's a lot up and down. I faces injuries, things like that. But then again, all this experience that sometimes books cannot teach you. Yeah. Of course, with this knowledge, I also want to impart down to other runners, to help other runners to improve. And that's where I also decided to become like a mentor, kind of like a coach thingy. I won't say really a coach, because coach is always like someone who dictate. But mentor is someone who like have a two-way dialogue sessions. I talk to you and talk to me. So we discuss what can we improve on. So it's more of a personal thing in terms of mentorship. Yeah. So I do a lot of mentoring to my runners. Yeah.
Okay. So Andy, we know that from your background experience that about running shoes.
Yeah.
Do you have any suggestion for choosing running shoes? Because I know that some people just want to buy because it looks good.
Yeah.
And some people think that, oh, I don't need it. I mean, I need this specific shoes, and then I don't want to change until after 10 years. I always wearing the same kind of shoes.
Yeah.
And the other type of runners is they have each kind of running shoes. So so I'm the one from I have a Asics GT from 13 years ago. So until now I'm still wearing the same type of Asics.
I see.
Right? So yeah, do you have any suggestion for choosing running shoes for runners? And we know that you have a slide. You want to show it?
Yeah. I think it would be good to use the slides. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also maybe was sharing a bit of my background. While I was doing my sports degree, I also was working in the run specialty store in Singapore. So that's where I gained the knowledge of shoes, working in a run specialty store together with my sports degree. And when I came out to work, I actually worked for Asics, a very famous Japanese sports brand. So I was in the marketing team for many years. So if you talk about shoes, it is like basically my territory. I love running shoes and I know a lot of things about running shoes. Yeah. So that's basically my background before I share my knowledge to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we can appear your slides. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, basically when any one of you want to buy a pair of running shoe, when you step inside to any running shops, right, they generally or traditionally, they always use this method of classifying or prescribing running shoe to you based on your arch type. So you can see on the screen, right? Yeah. So basically, right, look at the footprint. We call that the wet test. Basically, you wet your feet, then you step on a piece of paper, then you can see your footprint. So you see a number 1, number 2, number 3 on the screen, right? So basically, the number 1 is like a flat foot, flat arch. Number 2, you can see a little bit of your arch, and number 3, you cannot see the arch. All right. So basically, when you step inside a running store, usually the staff will basically see your arch height, and they will recommend to you. So if you have a flat foot, they prescribe you with a stability shoe. If you have a high arch, they will recommend you a cushioning shoe. So, say example, Rena, you are using a GT. GT is like a stability shoe. So people who usually have low arch or low arch or flat foot, right? The ankle will tend to ruin more. We call that overpronate. So when your ankle overpronate more, usually a stability shoe is supposed to support your arch so it doesn't collapse any further, reduce the rate of overpronations. More on the other end, like a number 3, someone with very high arch, right? They cannot, because their ankle are very stiff, very rigid, they cannot roll in. So normally people recommend you cushioning shoe because they are soft. You encourage your ankle to roll in. Yeah. So basically that is the general idea in textbook. But then whatever applies on textbook versus in reality, it's not the same. Because someone who had a flat arch may not overpronate, may not require a stability shoe. Someone with a high arch may not necessarily need a cushioning shoe. Someone with high arch there's a possibility they may overpronate. Right. So basically you see on the slides, I have 2 points here, 2 paper research. It shows that actually these are not new research. These are actually been researched for the past 10 to 15 years. They show that by prescribing shoes based on your arch height is not necessarily accurate. All right, because it is someone who have, as I mentioned, someone with high arch may not necessarily need a cushioning shoe. Okay, looking at arch height doesn't tell anything because this is called a static. It means you're standing there, you're not moving. So it doesn't tell anything about your running style. Okay, so basically, right, what they suggest is that it's better to match running shoe based on your biomechanics. So some of the run specialty store you go, right, they have a treadmill. They recommend you shoe, they ask you to wear the shoe and you run on treadmill. So someone has a, say example, a camera, can actually do a video recording, slow down your running gait, your running pattern. From there, they can assess your biomechanics. From there, recommending a pair of running shoes suits your running gait is actually much more accurate and better. Yeah. So can you press next?
Next.
Yeah. So you can see this picture. So shall I go back? You see this picture? So usually a shop that has a treadmill is always recommended because you go there, you can run on a treadmill. Someone who is experienced, maybe himself is a runner, okay, or she can actually use a camera to record how the way you run. Okay, this way is actually much better because this is very specific. Okay, because you're buying a running shoe to run. Okay, not buying a running shoe to stand. By standing, it doesn't tell anything. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So it's very specific. So again, I will not say that the wet test is invalid. Okay. Again, if for someone who's new to running, want to buy a running shoe but doesn't know what to wear, maybe the wet test can give you some reference, but it is not 100% accurate. So again, if you ask me for recommendation, I would rather you try on a treadmill, get someone to film you. Can you press next? So again, if you ask me for advice, I would say that comfort is much more important. Because if you buy a shoe, you feel comfortable, it means that you want to run longer with the shoe. It means that there's less chance of injury because you're comfortable. So comfort is actually much more important. Okay, what contribute to comfort? Comfort are like proper shoe fitting, meaning that you see on the screen here, all right, you can see that you see the two pictures, the foot shape. Okay, one, you can see that on the left is very narrow on the toe box. You see the toes are all clamp up. You see the toes are all clamp up. While the picture on the right side, you can see the toes can actually have a bit of space for you to wiggle. Okay, so it's very important when you buy a running shoe, when you fit in, make sure that your toe has enough space to wiggle, to splay. Because when the foot strike the ground, you want to grab the ground. Okay, yeah, and also you want to have a bit of space. So usually we give about 1 centimeter or maybe half a thumb to 1 thumb space from your longest toe to the tip of the shoe. Because as you exercise, the foot actually expand. Okay, yeah. So especially a half marathon to marathon distance, because the distance is so long, the foot your foot will swell, swell. So when swell, it needs space. So it's better to have a bit of space, maybe about 1 centimeter space or 1 finger space. Again, from your longest toe to the tip of the shoe. Yeah, and of course, you also want to bring your socks. Because sometimes some people try the shoe without socks. So it's not actually very specific. Because at the end of the day, you won't be wearing your own socks and run with the shoe. So my advice is to bring your own socks and wear the socks and wear the shoes to make sure that you're really comfortable. Okay. So the next point will be, again, be flexible to be prepared to size up or size down your running shoe. Because I know some people are very particular. They say that I'm a US 9, meaning I'm forever a US 9. No matter what brand, Mizuno, Asics, New Balance, any shoe, I'm always a US 9. I will never change. So if I tell you you need to upsize, some runners, or especially women, they feel like, oh, my feet go bigger, so I cannot. I must be 9, forever a 9. Okay, so can you press next? Yeah. So this is a shoe chart which I got from Running Warehouse. It's a very popular run specialty store in US. So they have a shoe chart of all the respective brands. You can see Adidas, Asics, Brooks, Nike. Right? Can you press next? Yeah, so you can see the chart here. There's a red box. Let's use US 9 as a common benchmark for all the brands. So you see the size conversion, right, to US 9 to UK to Euro, right, for every brand are not the same. Okay, so don't be very particular that you are always a US 9. Because some shoe you may need to use a US 9.5. Some shoe you may need a US 8.5. So be flexible about upsize or downsize as long as you're comfortable with the fitting. But at least you know that the US 9 is your benchmark. You know that you're always a US 9, right? That is your baseline. So some shoe a little bit longer, some shoe a little bit smaller. Yeah, because if you take the shoe, right, of every brand, right, or like you go and measure yourself, they actually they are not the same. Yeah, because it's the process of making shoe are not standardized across all the brands. Yeah. So again, be very dynamic about shoe fitting. End of the day, comfort. As long as you're comfortable, even you're using a US 10, as long as you're comfortable, there's enough space for you, I think that is good enough for you. Yeah. Okay, next.
Next.
So again, you can go back again.
Next.
Yeah. So you see the little lady down below. Okay. So what I share with you, the summary is what suits you for you may not suit your friend. Because, for example, your friend tell you, oh, maybe this shoe, this particular model is very good for you. It fits me very well. But does that translate to you as well? It may not, because the person has a different need than you. Okay. Likewise, maybe the shoe is suitable for you, but it may not be suitable for your friend. So end of the day, shoe fitting is very individual thing. Okay. Next. So again, another tip for me for me to you guys is that MUYS stand for mix up your shoes. Don't always stick with one shoe for all your runs. Okay, say example Monday you run. Say example you're a very serious runner. You run every day, Monday to Sunday. Don't use the same shoe from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on. Try to mix up with different shoe. Why? Because here in the screen, I show you something is interesting. Something called running shoe geometry. Again, for serious runner like maybe a Jimmy, he will understand what is the geometry, like what's the drop. Okay, so for serious runner, I mean, even for beginner runners, it's good to know what is the geometry, what's the drop. So what is the drop? So you see on the top right hand corner, right, you can see this shoe that's cut into half, right? You see there's a real foot height and a forefoot height. Yeah, so that's actually like wearing a high heel. But running shoe is not so high like a high heel. It's like lower. So basically, right, so example, you see this picture here, right? The height on the back is 20. The height in the front is 10. So 20 minus 10, you give you a 10 mm drop shoe. Okay, so most running shoe, traditional running shoe, like basically like Asics, right? We always have about 10 mm drop shoes. So for your GT, right, it's also like a 10 mm drop shoe. Yeah. So why do you know about this drop? Because different shoe has different geometry and they have different effect on your body, different effect on your body. Okay, so higher drop shoe, right, are suitable for people who land basically on the heel more. So, for example, you run, right? You land a lot on the heel. You want to have higher drop on the back because you want to have more cushioning on the heel. Okay, so if you have very tight calf, right, a high drop shoe also help to give some relief on your calf. Low drop shoe, right? See the second picture, right? See a low drop shoe. Basically, right, your ankle is almost like perpendicular to the floor. There is no raise behind. So basically, you're actually putting a lot of load on your calf, on your Achilles. But then, what kind of situation do you use low drop shoe? It's situation where you want to run fast. Because usually you run fast, people want to wear a lower drop shoe because you can actually feel the ground better. Okay, or sometimes when you want to strengthen your Achilles, your arch, right, you wear a low drop shoe because it's more like a natural position on your ankle. Okay, so the third one, right, is called a high stack. High stack are basically also known as maximalist shoe. I'm sure you all know this brand called Hoka One One. Is it popular in Indonesia? Yeah. Yeah. So basically, how you tell that this is a maximalist shoe is that look the two pictures I put. One is a Asics Kayano. So the one on the right is a Hoka One. All right. Won't die. So can you press next? Yeah. So you can see the red color thing. You see the midsole, basically like a pillow. Every shoe has a pillow. We call the midsole material the pillow. Okay, where you have all the cushioning. So maximalist shoes always have a very high amount of cushioning. But of course, nothing is perfect because the cushion is so thick, you actually lift your foot off the ground much higher. So sometimes you cannot really feel the ground because it's like wearing high heel. You cannot feel the ground. Yeah. Traditional shoes are a little bit lower to the ground because you can feel the ground. So there is no right or no wrong. It depends on what do you want. So basically, when you wear a maximalist shoe, you're basically bringing your feet above the ground, but you have a lot of cushioning. Yeah. So basically, right, a maximalist shoe can be a high drop or a low drop shoe. So basically, like this Hoka, right, it looks higher than the Kayano, right? But then it's only like a 4 mm drop. But because it had very thick cushioning, like a Big Mac. Yeah, very thick burger. While the Kayano are like a cheeseburger. Okay, so can you press next? Yeah, so say example, you're someone who always been using Kayano or GT for say example, many years, and you want to experiment low drop shoe, right? Try to do it very gradually. Okay, don't transit from a, say example, a 10 mm drop shoe. Suddenly next day, you go and wear a 0 drop shoe like a brand like Ultra. Yeah, some of these brands are 0 drop. So the transition period is too fast. So for the 10 mm, maybe you want to consider like a 8 or 6 mm drop shoe. Then from 8 to 6 mm, you think you're confident, then go to 4 mm before you transit to 0 drop shoe. Always have a gradual transitions. Yeah. So don't change from a 10 mm drop shoe, suddenly next day you go and wear a 0 drop shoe. Sometimes the Achilles, the calf cannot take it. Yeah. Next. So again, for different kind of runs, right, try to use different type of shoes. So again, here I just randomly pick 4 brands, 4 different type of shoe with 4 different type of design. I'm not endorsing any brands, but this is just a randomized. For example, easy day, slow, easy running. You just want to use, for example, a Kayano because it's like a premium stability shoe. We give you nice cushioning. There's an example, your long run. Long run, I would think maybe here in the picture, the Pegasus may be a suitable because why? Very high stack height. Because long run, you want to have a lot of cushioning because after 10K or 20K, your leg feeling tired, but you still want to run some more. Maybe a higher cushioning will give you more protections, more cushioning. Then again, the Skechers Razor 3 is a shoe that's very light, but a very low drop. It's like a 4 mm drop, low to the ground, very lightweight, 7 ounce. It's good for speed. So example, maybe on the track, you want to do speed running, 400 meter to example, 800 meter, you want to do fast running. So a Razor 3 is a good choice. For example, today you use a Razor 3 for speed workout. Next day, I'm sure your leg is going to be very, very tired. So maybe you can, on the following day, you can go back to your Kayano for a recovery. Right? Yeah, so try to mix with different geometry. Don't always use, for example, a Kayano for everything. Kayano for your easy, Kayano for your long run, Kayano for your speed, Kayano for your trail. So even for trail running shoe, it's different. So I have a Hoka Speed Goat 4 here. So what's so special about trail running shoe is that the outsole, the bottom of the shoe, has a lot of grip, a lot of tractions. So during the ascent and descent, it gives you better tractions. The Kayano, Pegasus, and the Razor are more leans toward road running shoe because their sole are much flatter and smoother. So there's a purpose for a trail running shoe. Yeah. So again, try to mix up different shoe and also know why or when to use the right shoe at the right time. Can you press next? Yeah. So again, in summary, mix up with different geometry, different density, different stack height, different design, and to distribute the loading stress on the body. Yeah, because by using different shoe, right, you're actually having different kind of stress. For example, if you're using a Pegasus for all the run, right, Monday to Sunday, you're always having the same kind of stress on the body because the geometry of the shoe is always the same. So try to, in local terms, Singapore, we call it rojak. Rojak is basically mix up. Yeah. Next. Yeah, again, try to have a transition gradually, right? From a 10 mm drop shoe to a 0 drop shoe, try to have a very gradual transitions. Next. So again, outside running shoes, before I end my session, I give a quick understanding of, just read it, yeah. Some of my just general idea about coaching, because I'm also a coach as well. So basically some of my idea about training concept. Because training itself, I think a lot of runners here understand the concept of training. So there are other 2 things I want to share later on. So for training, right? So I'm sure it's good that if you can get a coach yourself, because a coach can actually help to monitor your progress. Again, so going anti-clockwise, you can see there's a 20-80 rule. Okay, so basically that is like your weekly mileage. So 20% of your weekly mileage should be quality. Quality basically are like hard running, but the bulk majority of your run should be 80% are all easy, slow and easy. Okay, a lot of people mix up. They try to run the other way around. 20% easy, 80% hard. That's why the body cannot recover.
Oh, okay.
So there's a actually this you can actually Google 80-20 rule. Okay, someone actually wrote the book about this concept 80-20. So again, majority of the run should be all easy. So the mantra is run slow to run fast. Okay, 80-20. Remember 80-20. But again, don't be very, very anal about this 80-20. Some people say, oh, must 80% and 20%. This is just a guideline. Sometimes it can be 75, 75, 25, or 70, 30. But the concept is that majority of your easy run should be easy. Limit your hard run to a very small percentage. That is the pyramid. So the second pyramid on the bottom, you can see this is called the heart rate zone training. So maybe like Jimmy also subscribe to this heart rate zone training. So brands like Garmin, Polar, Sunto, again, although they are different brands, but they subscribe to the same kind of heart rate training program. That's why these days all the watches have the heart rate functions in the watch itself. So basically this idea is also correlated to the 80-20 rule. So you know that during your easy run, you should remain at zone 3 and zone 4 or zone 5. Maybe zone 3 is a bit hard. Most of the time should be zone 4, zone 5, easy. Then zone 2, zone 1 are the 20%. Yeah. Then the next one, you can see the hill running. Again, to me, hill is actually speed in disguise. A lot of people like to run fast. But again, A lot of people get injured by running fast because they are not strong. So by running hill, right, you actually build a lot of strength. So during your off season, where you're not running any race, things, right, especially right now, because of the COVID-19, we don't have races. Best time to do a lot of hill running. You build strength before you actually go to the track to do speed running. Then again, some of the supplementary training are like your gym ball, TRX, and yoga. So these are how to supplement strength in your training. Okay, so don't always run and run and run. So sometimes you need to build strength. Runners don't like to go gym. Okay, but I think TRX is very functional because you save time, you can build a lot of muscle. Okay, can you press next? Okay, this is actually more important because I know training, a lot of you know about training, but then runners hate to rest. Okay, let's be honest. When I tell people to rest, runners say, I don't want to rest. Okay, so but you must understand, hard training form 50%. In order for you to become better, the other 50% is actually rest. 50 plus 50. So don't always think about running hard. You need to rest so that you actually recover, so you become stronger. So rest can form into two kinds, categorized into a passive and active. Can you press next? So passive are basically the sleep. Sleep is very important because do you know that in science, like in biology, when we sleep, our body releases our growth hormones. Growth hormone is a very important hormones that help to repair your body, especially all those damaged muscle. So have undisturbed sleep for 7 to 8 hours because it's only through sleep the body can actually repair. If you are someone who sleep very little, like say about 4 hours, 5 hours, you don't get the chance to repair the body. Yeah. So that is basically passive, and it's very, you don't even need money. Okay. So active rest would be something like, swimming, cycling. These are non-intense, easy aerobic. So you say how to promote blood circulations. And of course, stretching like yoga. All these are passive rest. It allows the blood to circulate in the body so you recover faster. So this is, remember, training is 50%, rest is the other 50%. All right, only then with this, you will actually become stronger. Can you press next? So the next I also just touch on a little bit on nutrition. So very, very general one. Can you press next? So again, on carbohydrates, carbs. Okay, we have simple and complex. So basically, simple carbs are basically your white bread, things like that. All right. So basically, things are like simple sugar, right? Or like, for example, your sports drinks. All these are simple carbs because you look at the graph bottom, right? The high GI. So basically, right, when you consume them, they'll turn into sugar in your bloodstream much faster. So if you want to use them as like an energy, for example, 1 hour later after this webinar, you want to go and run, it's better to drink a high simple carbohydrates because it will turn into sugar in the blood much faster because they are basically a fuel. Complex carbohydrates is on the other spectrum. They turn into sugar in the blood much slower. So for people for like weight management, want to reduce weight, right, things like that, it's better to eat a complex carbohydrate because they don't turn into sugar in the blood so fast, so soon. Yeah. So complex carbs are basically low GI. Yeah. So you can see on the presentation, the simple carbs are basically your high GI. Complex carbs are your low GI. Okay. Next will be healthy fats. Sometimes we have this perception of eating fats no good. Yeah, because we don't want to become fats. But healthy fats are good fats because they help to reduce weight. Okay. So basically like avocado, salmon, chia seed are very important because they help to reduce inflammation. After a hard training, right, we have a lot of inflammation in the body. So you want to reduce inflammation. So healthy fats are good. So next one will be berries. You can see the colorful berries. You have blueberry, raspberry. Mm-hmm. Berries are rich in antioxidant. Because sometimes you run on the roadside, there's a lot of free radical. Free radical are basically like toxic in the body. So in order for you to clear away all these toxics, those free radical in the body, berries are the best. Doesn't matter what kind of berries, as long as they're berries. Blueberry, red berries, raspberries. Because they help to remove all the toxins in the body. So they are very rich in antioxidant. Otherwise, you can actually take pills like, you see the next one, ACE. So basically, right, not promoting any brand, so it isn't for me. Sometimes when I have to have time to eat fruits, I will take the ACE. ACE stands for vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E. So they can help to replace berries. But of course, it's always good to eat fresh fruits. So the last one is ZMA. ZMA stands for zinc, magnesium. Just like sleeping. Okay, zinc and magnesium promote repair when you sleep. So especially on your hard run, for example, today you do a track workout, your whole body is very tired, you cannot sleep. Zinc, magnesium allow you to repair, allow you to sleep better. Yeah. So basically, right, these are some of the key pointers I feel that I should share with you guys. Not just about, I know running, no problem for all you guys. Rest and nutrition are something that you should be a little bit more mindful of. Because if you look at the little summary I wrote on the slides on the bottom right, right, a holistic 360 approach is very important because it's like a package. Run and run and run, sometimes it's not enough. You need to think in a big picture. It's a 360 kind of a concept. Training plus rest plus proper diet. So this form you a proper kind of a 360 holistic training approach. Yeah, next. Okay, so basically, that's all for me. And these are some of the reference that I don't have any talk because these are things that research paper I pull out from what I study. So these are all backed by research paper. Yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting, Andy, to know that so many elements that we have to know because we hear and we read a lot of information that sometimes we don't know which one we have to pick up, and sometimes we have to listen, but we get a clear message from you that we have to listen again to our body, and about the shoes is very important. So teman-teman sudah mendengar dari Andy Neo bahwa sepatu itu adalah sangat penting dalam aktivitas kita berlari, dan sepatu berlari tidak bisa dijadikan sebagai sepatu lifestyle. Is that correct, Andy? That the running shoes you cannot substitute as a lifestyle shoes, or you can on the other side also?
Lifestyle shoe?
Yeah, I mean, like, running shoes is you use you have to move with the running shoes, correct? Not like stand still.
Yeah. So when you want to try a running shoe, you have to try by running on in the shop.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. At best, the shop has a treadmill.
Yeah.
No point you buy a running shoe by standing. Standing doesn't tell anything, right?
But for shopping, it's okay, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, and then right now we have introduced by one. I mean, I don't mention the one specific brand, but that shoes has brought one runners to achieve the world record marathon.
Yeah.
So, do you recommend that shoes for a slow runner like me, or it just everybody can wear it? I mean, like, even I have a pace like 6:45 or 6:30. What do you suggest?
Okay, first of all, you must understand that particular super shoe. I call it super shoe because it's a super shoe.
Mm-hmm.
You must understand the design, the concept of the super shoe. What is so different about this super shoe versus the rest of the traditional running shoe is that it has a carbon plate. It's like it's like a mattress. So mattresses are very comfortable and soft, but underneath the mattress there's a very rigid plate inside the shoe. So the plate is such a way that it's very difficult to flex. But the moment you flex it, you let go, it's like a spring, very powerful spring. So in order for you to bend the plate, of course, you need to strike the ground at a certain pace, certain force to bend it. If you cannot bend the plate at a certain force, you try to tap it very lightly, you cannot even bend it. So you find the shoe actually very difficult to run, very hard, like wearing the boots. Yeah. Again, I will say that for even for new runners, right, who want to try this type of super shoe, right now, the good thing is that they're not just only that brand, a lot of brand out there also coming out super shoe. So there are all the super shoe, right? Some of the super shoe are actually flexible. I would suggest you have to try those much more flexible super shoe first before you try the very rigid. Because as I mentioned, there is no point you buy such a good super shoe, but you cannot bend the plate. Yeah. So, but again, there are also other super shoe with the same technology, but with much more flexible plate. Yeah. So again, maybe 5 months ago, the choice is very limited only for the super elite. But now, because of the fair play, I'll say it's fair play. Every brand's coming out super shoe, catered for different consumer, different running ability. So right now, there are more choices for runners out there. Yeah. So I would say that if you have the chance, go and try all these super shoe, and for the start, try to find one that is actually a little bit much more flexible. Yeah.
So that's good to know. So teman-teman mungkin kita mendapatkan tips yang sangat istimewa dari Andy Neo malam ini bahwa sepatu merupakan one of the best investment because belum tentu kita membeli sepatu berdasarkan kebutuhan kita, tapi karena mungkin kita menyukai brandnya itu. Tapi yang kita perlu perhatikan adalah sepatu sesuai dengan kebutuhan kita. Jadi cobalah membeli sepatu dengan lebih bijaksana, lebih mencobanya dulu atau benar-benar mendapatkan size yang tepat dan brand yang tepat, tapi tidak perlu harus mengikuti tren yang sedang ada, tapi kebutuhan kita belum sampai di sana. Mungkin ini adalah pesan yang terbaik dari yang kita dapatkan dari Andy Neo malam ini. And Andy Neo, I have another question for you that I know you have your own running club.
Yeah.
How did you start with it?
Yeah. Before I started this running club, I was working in ASICS. So I was in the marketing team, and I started this ASICS running club in Singapore, which we actually expanded to ASICS running club in Malaysia, Thailand, and so on and so forth. So I'm the one who actually started this in Singapore. So I start to have my own so-called group of followers, and I apply some of my concept of training into this running club. So runners from that period of time, they understand my approach, my training methods, and they do see the benefit of it. So when I started this running club, when I left ASICS, right, they also decided to follow me. Yeah, and of course, it's always good to be sharing. Always good to share your knowledge to runners. So again, I never really publicize my running club to many people. It's always through word of mouth. So people come and join my training group. Yeah. So I would say that since 2018 when I started this, right, I have a very, very good 20 to 30 runners who join me for all my trainings. So my training program is very, very structured such a way that they enjoy. So it's always different kind of elements: hill running, speed running, drills. I think a lot of things that a lot of runners don't understand is doing drills. So we do a lot of plyometric drills. Yeah.
Okay. So this is very interesting to know this information. But before we go further, let's take a break for a few seconds. And hi, welcome back. Yeah. Now let's go with Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Yeah, very happy that we have you here now. So, Jimmy, that we know that you just achieved your dream. Finally, you're as a Boston qualified now. So yeah, so we also know that you attempt a few, race, but you didn't succeed before. So would you please tell us the secret how you can, so motivated and, finally you can achieve that goal?
Okay. Yeah, I think first of all, thank you very much for having me in this webinar as well. And it's been privileged to share the room with you, Andy, and Tanaka. And a lot of sharing from Tanaka is great. And also information from Andy helps a lot. So I started running in 2000, but like Tanaka, I was trained in the track for track athlete, corporate track athlete. So I was 200, 400, 1 mile, 5K and 10K sprinter. So, and then in 2005, I quit. I left the running club, running team, and I start coaching myself. And in 2008, I stopped running because I came back from US to Indonesia. So I have like 4 years of, like stop running, basically just maintaining, and started running again in 2012. And at the time, I kind of probably I started to run using the method I was trained when I was in the corporate team. So, you know, doing a lot of speed work, doing all the training plan for the sprinting. So fast forward, coming to like 2016, 15, same like Andy, it's like trial error. And, you know, I always have a problem of cramp. Right after 30 kilometer, I started to get the cramp. So you know, I look at the training plan from website like Boston website, and I thought myself that I'm ready for the training plan. I follow everything, but at the end, it always comes to the 30 kilometer marker. The closest the one that I really got to qualify is in 2018 Gold Coast Marathon. So I was going to hit the qualification, but I got cramped at 40.8 kilometer, and I had to stop, like literally stop for like almost 5 to 8 minutes, and I couldn't walk. Every time I start walking, the muscle locked down again. Then I have to really relax. And when I look at my watch and the qualification time is over, there's no hope for it anymore, then the cramp just release. And I you know, by that time I just walk and run. So then I decided to like train myself again really hard up to 2019 to run the same Gold Coast again. But this time I failed again because at kilometer 30, the cramp started again. So cramp is always my problem. I'm not really sure. And by the end of that race, I decided to hire a coach. Having a coach really helped me. And just like Andy said, it basically guides you to do the right training plan. So I signed up with a coach in VDOT, and he basically told me what to do. And he, of course, at first we have a conversation. He asked me about my experience in running, my personal best in every category, and what year did I get that, and things like that, and how many hours I could spend every day to do my training. But basically, at the end of it, the real key or the real ingredient of my success is probably the 80-20 rule. Because the way I was trained before, my mistake probably is using my old method when I was trained for speed and kind of implement that for my marathon training. So what I did was I probably spent like close to 50% doing like speed work and tempo, and didn't really allow myself to recover enough to do my next maybe interval. So at the end of the day, my muscle basically exhausted. So with this coach, he basically really gave me the training plan, probably like 90 to 10%. So it's like 90% easy. Even my interval was really easy. I used to run for my speed workout was like 5 times 1 kilometer at pace 350 per minute. I mean per kilometer, and rest like for 1 minute. And when I got the plan from my coach, it was like 4 times 400 meters, 430, rest 2 minutes. It was that easy. And of course, at first I was, I'm not really confident that this training plan will work. But after like about 1 month or 1.5 months, and he told me to run a 10K race, but only like 80% of my power. And I felt so different because my aerobic level was completely on a different level. And I was surprised about that. Then I start believing the training plan. and I really, really work on it. And then the other thing is that I let go the triathlon. So I stopped doing triathlon maybe for like 6 months, and concentrate really on the running part. And you know, at the end in Chicago 2019, he told me to run the marathon, but don't push to get the qualification. The qualification time is 3:10. I felt like I can do the 3:10, but he told me don't do it over there. And he told me to run 4:40 for 25 kilometers. And then from there, go ahead, run according how you feel. And he told me that you're probably gonna get like around 3:10, but you won't be able to do 3:08. He told me like that. So at the end, I just follow his racing strategy, and sure enough, I got 3:10 something. And at that point, I was really surprised about the timing, how he can predict my marathon, because he just told me to run 4:40 for 25 kilometers. And then after that, just run the way your body wants to run. And he predicted the time. He predicted my Chicago marathon is very close. And then after that, he trained me again. And the goal is for Gold Coast Marathon 2020, which is, just past July. But I told him that maybe, just to be safe, can I just run one marathon in between? And he told me to run the Phoenix Marathon. Now, at that point, he gave me the he gave me the racing strategy where I should finish around 3:05. And he told me that if I run according to the pace strategy, it should be safe for me to, it should be guaranteed for me to run below 3:05. So I really, really follow his pacing strategy. And sure enough, I got 3:03 at the end of 42.1, 42 kilometers. And I finished with 3:03 and qualified for the Boston. So my point is, I think the key ingredient is coaching is, for me, right? For me personally, having a coach really helped me to understand the training plan for a particular marathon. And during the race, we really, really need to stick with the pacing strategy. So you don't run too fast in the first half and then get exhausted in the second half. I know a lot of people felt that they need to run faster in the first half so that they still have time to spare in the second half. But I think I believe, and I think my coach believe, that's the wrong strategy. But that's just me.
Wow, so maybe I can speak in bahasa. So teman-teman, satu experience juga yang dialami Jimmy, dan mungkin juga berguna untuk kita semua. Tergantung dari teman-teman goalnya apa, tapi satu lain yang kita dapat dari Andy Neo, Tanaka Sang, dan juga Jimmy Pangestu, bahwa kita perlu mendapatkan seorang coach untuk mengguidance kita selama program. Is that correct, Jimmy?
Yes.
So we don't waste the time and our training, but we have a specific goal with our program, and we have to do it smarter but not harder.
That's correct.
Iya. So mungkin teman-teman bisa mencari seorang coach yang cocok untuk kita masing-masing personal. Mungkin nggak perlu dari luar negeri, tapi mungkin juga bisa yang dari lokal, tergantung dari keinginan dan aim-nya teman-teman sendiri ya. Then next, Jimmy, I know you are very busy with 2 young kids or 3 young kids?
3 young kids.
3 young kids. Wow, very productive. And then
now you know I don't have time to run, right?
Then how you divide your time with your works, with your with your business and with your family, and also with the training?
Yeah, time management is definitely the challenging part for me. And I think I should say I'm lucky enough to have a very, very understanding partner for my business. They know my dreams, so they're willing to like help me out when I need to do my intensive running or when it gets closer to my race. They totally understand if I'm a little bit slacking off my on my responsibility, but they will basically cover for it. And then on the personal side and family side, I'm lucky enough to have a very, very understanding wife. I've been running for 20 years, but after 16 years of running, finally she started running. And so at that point, she understands the meaning of running for me. And she also knows how I really, really want to qualify for the Boston Marathon. So he basically took care of my family, my kids, try to tell them why you're dad in the morning, especially Saturday and Sunday. Instead of playing with them in the morning, he will went out and do the long run. And when he came back, he will just go sleep rather than play with them.
Is that an excuse or what?
So yeah, I'm very grateful for my wife and my partner. But basically, you have to like in my case, I think the most important thing is the consistency and the commitment part. So I commit to myself to doing the training plan. I try to find times like probably early in the morning, or for me, like I said before, I'm not really a morning person. So I try to get to block like about 1.5 hours in the afternoon to do my run.
Okay. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yep.
So runners, now we know that there's nothing impossible for us, but once again, we need to make sure that we listen again to our body carefully. And then also we have to be smart with our program with the training and with the nutrition and sleep, but also with the family, because that's the most important in our elements, right? And so before we continue this webinar, let's take another break for a few seconds, and we'll listen for the sponsor that from My Labs, Suka Outdoor, Sasana Sport Physio, and also HL Sport. Halo, untuk teman-teman semua yang sudah memberikan pertanyaan dan kebetulan semuanya sudah dicatat oleh admin, dan admin akan memilih satu pertanyaan yang terbaik untuk mendapatkan satu door prize dari Gooder, persembahan dari HL Sport, dan juga untuk mendapatkan 6 voucher persembahan dari Sasana Sport Physio. Sasana Sport Physio merupakan salah satu fisio yang tertua di Indonesia yang sudah mempunyai experience cukup lama di bidang sport maupun di bidang rehabilitasi untuk para pasien dengan jenis penyakit tertentu. Let's continue. So Tanaka-san, Endineo, and then Jimmy. Now I would like to give the three of you the question. I have a few questions that you can answer. That the first one is most of us know that we made the mistake along the journey. So what personal mistake did you guys made in your younger days along related to the running experience? Maybe we can start from Tanaka-san.
Well, you mean
Yes, running, Tanaka-san.
Well, you know, I just forgot my shoes. I mean, spike shoes when I was a sprinter.
Mhm.
So, I couldn't get, spike shoes my size. So, I tried to borrow from my friend, but, I couldn't. So I just withdraw from the, race. This is my biggest, mistake in my life.
So how was it?
Well, at the time, I need, spike shoes, but, I forgot it. And, I use my just, flat, warm up shoes. But, I couldn't compete. I mean, very well. I mean, it's very, slow.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
this is big, mistake.
so friends, never forget your shoes. Always
Yeah.
put it on your bag.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
What about you, Antonio?
Yeah, maybe something to share more related to marathon. Okay, during my early days, when I was trying to attempt to run a sub-3, which is like a holy grail for the hardcore, I would say the elite jogger who want to run a sub-3, right? So I always think that mileage is everything. So I'll run a lot of high volume. So back then, the 160 kilometers or 100 miles was like a magic number. Yeah, people will say, "Wow, you have got to do the 100 miles or the 160 kilometer a week, not a month, a week." So back then, I was still during my so-called the early stage of my running career, where I started to pile up 160 every week. I remember in 2014, as I was preparing for Gold Coast Marathon, as everyone say, Gold Coast is one of the best destination to run a PB. To break sub-3, you just follow the two pacer, because in Gold Coast there are two pacer who will be running sub-3. So you just basically follow them. Yeah. So I was doing 160, because my mind is obsessed with numbers. Yeah. So on 1 week before the Gold Coast Marathon, where you're supposed to taper, right? Drop down your volume, you should be fresh, right? My body became very sick. Sick is not the way that it's like, runner sick. There's a syndrome called URTI, upper respiratory tract syndrome, meaning that your heart rate will be very high. Because you're not sick, even you see doctor say there's nothing wrong with you, but just like your resting heart rate is much higher. Yeah. They call it the overtrain syndrome. You overtrain the body. Yeah, you never let your body rest enough. Yeah. So on that particular race day, right, my heart rate, when the morning wake up, I measure my resting heart rate, it was very, very high. So usually my resting heart rate was like 39, 40 BPM, right? But on that particular morning, it was like 50 something. So I know that I wasn't going to do well on the race. But never mind, since I'm already in Gold Coast, I myself going to run, just follow the pacer. So I was just following the pacer until 20 kilometers. My leg just refused to run anymore. It's not like cramp, it's just I don't want to run. So at 20 kilometers, I just walk. Yeah, so imagine all my friends traveling from Singapore to Gold Coast, they just ran past me. They say, "Whoa, Andy, run." I just cannot run anymore. Not that I don't want to run. It's not even hitting the wall. It's just at 20K. Yeah. The body refuses. Yeah. So when I came back, I see doctors. Doctors say there's nothing wrong. You just need to rest. Yeah. So again, back then I also had some knowledge on sports science because I was doing my degree. So I realized that I'm having this overtrain syndrome and I was suffering from this URTI. So basically there's nothing you do, just basically rest. So basically I just take 3 months off. I just go trekking, I just do anything. Just avoid running for 3 weeks. I let my body rest. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So 6 months later, again, I was doing 6 months later, I was doing Tokyo Marathon. Yeah. So imagine at Tokyo Marathons, I reviewed again, but then I reduced my training volume from 160. I was still a bit reluctant to drop my mileage, so I dropped to maybe about 140. But of course, I improved my quality. So on my harder run, I run faster. Yeah, but I just reduced my overall volume to maybe 140-ish. Yeah. So 6 months later, I went to Tokyo. I ran my first sub-3. I ran 2 hours 57. 2 hours 50. 2 hours 57. Yeah. Wow. So I do understand the importance of finding the balance. So volume is not everything. So sometimes when we read books or read internet, because right now we have internet information everywhere. So people will say the magic number 100 miles or 160 kilometers. Those are just guidelines. Don't be very, very obsessed. Sometimes you need to respect the body. Yeah. So mileage is not everything. So learn to respect. So over the years, right, when I break the sub 3, right, 2:57, right, my subsequent marathons are all getting faster and faster from 2:57 to 2:52, 2:51, 2:49. But then my volume, right, I don't run as much at 160 anymore. From 160, it dropped to 140, and now like 120, maybe to just barely above 100. But I realized that quality is more important than quantity. Yeah, quality over quantity. Yeah. So don't be obsessed with distance. Some people always tell me they always measure by, oh, today how many kilometers you run? Oh, 20, I must run 20 also. Yeah, maybe your 20 kilometer and my 20 kilometer different. You're running, maybe say example, someone running 6-minute pace, I'm running 5-minute pace. The intensity is different. Yeah. So don't be obsessed with number. That's my mistake. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Jimmy?
I think my mistake would be easy run. I used to think like when I saw a training plan and it said, for example, like run 10K easy run. I used to think that my easy run pace should be like 4:50, 4 minutes 50 seconds per kilometer. And I kept doing that. Sometimes I tried to reduce it to 4:45. I kept thinking about it, and then I basically put myself to be able to run easy run at pace, below 5. It turns out I believe that was the mistake, because my coach told, when I have a coach, of course, he told me that when you run easy, just run easy. Don't even need to look at your heart rate. Don't even think about the pace that you need to run. Don't even think about the time. You just run 10K, just run it. As long as you can talk about, if you have a friend, you can run and talk with them easily. And if you don't have a friend, you just run by yourself. You run as if like this is the most enjoyable activity of the whole day. So that's my mistake.
But I'm wondering if you run with Andy Neo. So if you run, both of you run pace 4, and it's still easy for you guys, or?
No, I think that's for Andy.
No. I totally agree with. I totally agree with Jimmy.
He probably run at 4:30 and he still can sing.
No, I totally agree with Jimmy, because for my easy run, it's really, really easy. But my hard run is really, really hard run. There is no in between. So there's something called a gray zone. A lot of runner mistake is that they run too much in the gray zone. So when you run too much on the gray zone, your body cannot recover in time for the hard run. So when it's easy, as what Jimmy say, very, very easy. When it's hard, it's really, really hard. So no gray zone. Yeah. So don't be surprised that even for me, I run like 6-minute pace for my easy run, because I know that, say example, today I run 10K, I run 6-minute pace. I know tomorrow I'm going to do a very hard track sessions. Yeah. If today I'm going to run like a, say, 4:30 pace, I don't think I will recover in time for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be very difficult to perform. So no gray zone.
Okay, so yeah, so it's very good to know. Anyway,
So the mantra is run slow to run fast.
Right.
In order for you to run faster, you need to run slow. So run slow to run fast.
Good.
Okay. So teman-teman catat ya, ini penting banget nih untuk kita. Kadang-kadang kita tidak bisa membedakan apa yang namanya easy run dengan fast run, karena kita mungkin terlalu banyak berlari dengan mileage yang kita obsesi dengan mileage, atau juga mungkin juga kita merasa terlalu, bisa dikatakan lebih sedikit egois, karena we feel we can do it faster, so we run faster. Actually, we have to be, we have to run slower. So yes, so be consistent and be honest with your program training. And then the second one, that happened to me, especially sometimes also. I mean, like I believe that that happened also to my friends here. And sometimes I feel burnt out from running. Even I do boxing, I do like swimming or whatever. But how to keep our passion from running, because sometimes we face an obstacle, maybe not enough rest, or maybe we also have enough rest, but still we feel so tired. What about you, Tanaka-san? How to keep your passion of running?
Yes, I think, my main purpose to running is just drink beer. So, you know, my if I run 10K, maybe I can drink 10% of the distance, means, 1 liter. I can drink, 1 liter beer. And if I can run 15K, means I can drink 1.5 liters of the beer. So that is my, main purpose to run.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. So just
Because I love burger, so I can run 20K. Then I can have 2 cheeseburgers.
Yeah, of course you can drink it, but usually I run maybe 10 to 15K.
Okay.
Right.
And Andy?
Yeah, for me, right, is that social running is very important, especially when I start this back kicker running group. So when you have a social running group, there's a commitment to the group, meaning there's some form of responsibility. For example, tomorrow, right, we're going to do on the gravel. So we're going to be doing like a 2K repeat, right? So usually for my group of 5 people, right, we will run like a train, meaning single file. Right, in a single file, everyone will take turn to lead. So everyone has responsibility. So my motivation of sometimes when I don't want even to run, but I know that if I go there, that I have a role to play. Running, sometimes you think it's a solo sports, but you try to make it into team sports, it's a different dynamic because everyone has a chance to be a leader. So there's some responsibility in the group itself. Yeah. So for me, right, when you commit yourself to a group, even a very small group, right, you know that I committed to the group. I need to be ready, even though on the day I don't want to run, but because of someone lazy, but because I committed to them, they're looking up to me, I need to be there. Yeah, for me, I mean, that's a reason for me to run because I put my running group there for a reason. Yeah, group dynamics, I would say. Yeah. So, for example, you run a 6-minute pace alone versus 6-minute pace with your friend. I'm sure the feeling is different, right? 6-minute pace with your friend, you feel it's easier because there's companionship. But 6-minute pace alone, sometimes maybe I cut short the distance, I go back. But with friends, it's different. Yeah, that's because there's commitment, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Social commitment.
Yeah. And Jimmy?
Okay. When I get tired or exhausted or from running, I normally try to remember the day or the time when the first time I really love running. And then I also have, sometimes I keep some of the pictures where you finish your run and then took a picture with all your friends. So sometimes I just look at those pictures and, I would pick a day where the weather is really good. Of course, in the afternoon, the wind is blowing. The weather is not hot. It's not hot, and I would just start running so slow, so easy that I could try to remember that I was like running in Michigan or in San Diego, and those are the time that bring back the old memory why I really like running or why I first joined the the tryout for the Pfizer corporate running track.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then the next one is a common problem for everybody. I mean, like who have a problem like me, like about the nutrition. It's a bit complex to talk about it, but what about you guys? Do you have any specific diet that, I don't say that is wrong or that's right, but some people don't eat carbs, I mean, after 6 p.m. and some people don't eat red meat on diet, and then some people they don't eat they don't put any dairy milk or dairy product on their diet. So what do you think? What is what about your diets? Tanaka-san?
Yeah,
Eat very
I haven't do any diet. When I was a sprinter at that time I did, but after marathon or long distance, I never had diet, and also I ate everything except the chicken. So
Why is that, Tanaka-san?
well, when I was young, the bad memory. Sorry about that. So that's it.
It's okay. It's okay.
I can eat everything, and I ate as much as I want. So no diet.
But you stay slim until now. That's very good. Excellent, Tanaka-san.
Yeah. I think I'm 70 years old right now, but I'm keeping very good health.
Yes, that's true. Congrats,
Yeah.
Tanaka-san.
Thank you.
What about you, Andy Neil?
For me, I'm still running at a serious jogger, I'll say elite jogger level. I still want to improve my timing. So diet, as I'm sure just now on my slide, is very important. So I do watch my diet. I eat healthy, I eat clean. But of course, I don't count calories. I think counting calories is very troublesome. So in general, I eat clean. But again, at the performance level, I don't think one should reduce the number of carbohydrates in the body, because carbohydrates is basically the fuel you need when you exercise. Okay, if you cut down on the carbohydrates, it's very difficult for you to have any energy to do a proper training. Again, this is for my own personal objective. But if you are someone who has having a weight loss management program, then the diet, of course, is a bit different. You may want to cut down on your carbohydrates. But if you are serious runners that you want to improve, you definitely need carbohydrates. But the question is, what kind of carbohydrates? Simple or complex? Again, it depends on situations. Again, in general, of course, simple carbohydrate is best before your training, because you need the quick sugar in the body. Yeah. So otherwise, I eat clean, meaning I have proper carbohydrates, proteins, vegetables, and of course a lot of fruits. I think fruits are very important. And my last thing I want to share is basically coffee, especially black coffee. I think black coffee is very important for sports performance because of the caffeine. It's not about the coffee itself, but it's the caffeine. Caffeine actually stimulates fat metabolisms. So example, again, early in the morning before you run, a cup of black coffee is always good because it raises the fat metabolism rate. So you actually help to, I won't say 100% burn fats, because you never 100% be 100% burn fats. You'll always be burning sugar, fats, and unlikely you'll be burning protein, because the body will be not wanting to burn protein, because protein is not really energy. It's actually between fats and carbohydrates. Yeah. So actually, if for someone who actually want to do easy run in the morning, I think a black coffee is always good. But without milk, no susu, no milk, because fats is much harder to break down into. Milk is much harder to break down into the bloodstream. So black coffee is better. Yeah. So again, before your race, any race in the morning, I see all the elite runners, they always drink black coffee before their hard runs or their races. Again, because of the caffeine. Also, caffeine raises your heart rate. It get your body ready for the workout. Yeah. But again, this is in general. Some people who are sensitive to caffeine may not want to consider drinking coffee. But I'm talking about in general. Yeah.
So you don't eat Singapore laksa, Andy Neil?
You'll be surprised that I'm the first to admit that I'm a Singaporean who never touched laksa in my whole life before.
Oh, really?
How about meepo?
That's so good.
Huh? Sorry?
How about meepo?
Meepo? Not seldom. I seldom touch nasi lemak, laksa. Yeah.
Wow.
Most of the time, you see my rice are like brown rice, quite clean. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about you, Jimmy? You still eat the gado-gado, or you just specific only eat the the clean meals also like Andy?
It's kind of hard for me. I really like noodles, and noodles in Indonesia is like crazy. I mean, they have like a lot of variation. So basically, but most of the time I would eat red rice with vegetable, just basic diet. I don't have specific diet, but I always eat vitamin in the morning and magnesium, zinc, magnesium at night. So and then depending on my training plan, like when I know tomorrow I need to do a very hard run, I will increase a little bit on the carb side. And probably 2 weeks, 1 week or 2 weeks before the race, I stopped drinking beer. Yes, Tanaka, I really like beer too. So that's basically my diet. Yeah.
So no whiskey, yeah? Only beers.
Whiskey, yes. Whiskey, wine, you name it. But you know, but 2 weeks before the race, I will cut everything off. And then after the race, I have to celebrate. Of course, I drink more. Yeah.
So for the next ones, we all come from the different culture, like Tanaka-san, Andy, and also Jimmy. What is your opinion about cultural difference of running, Tanaka-san?
Well, I think there are not, any difference among those three countries, So, people loves running and people loves, races. So, I think not much difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know that people run very fast in Japan.
Well, yeah, I think, some of them, but, like me, I'm very slow, So it depends on the, person. So younger people, runs very fast and, especially professional, runner, they are training very hard and, run very fast. But, like me, purpose is just, accomplish the, just the race. So that's it, right? Yeah.
But you always, like you always complete your marathon with the excellent timing, Tanaka-san. So, well done.
All right.
So,
but, okay.
What about Singapore? I'm sorry, Tanaka-san, go ahead.
Well, I've never run in Singapore before. Maybe I wish I could run, future, at least once. Yeah.
What do you think, Andy? Singaporean runners?
Yeah, in Singapore, generally the weather is always the same, very hot or raining. Yeah, so it's very humid in Singapore. So in order to run, the running culture here is popular. A lot of running group. Compared with the last 10 years, we see a lot of new running groups emerge, especially the younger runners. Yeah, but if you talk about performance running, the standard is still a bit lacking, much lacking if you compare with Japan. Of course, we know that in Japan, the strong Ikiden culture, boys from high school to corporate teams, they are running so much faster. Their timing is so much faster than our national record. Yeah. But again, you also have to be realistic that Singapore is very hot, just like Indonesia. We are near the equator. So it's very, very hot.
Yeah.
Before you even run, you start to sweat. Yeah. So sometimes we also need to adjust our training methods to suit our weather. Yeah. But again, because even though with the high humidity, the sports is growing. Yeah. Because again, running is compared with other sports is cheaper. You just need a pair of running shoes and you can run. Although running shoes are getting more expensive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But then you just need a pair of shoes you can run. Yeah. So again, you see younger people start picking up running as the alternative lifestyle. So it's a good sign. But again, going back to performance-wise, I think it's still a gap in Singapore standard between the national and the social runner. So I think in between, that's where I think all the coaches is coming in to fill in to groom the new blood so that we have better standards in performance. Yeah. But again, in Singapore, we follow a lot on all the world majors and follow the culture in Japan. So you minus away all the African runners, actually a lot of Singaporeans look up to the Japanese as role models. So I believe in Indonesia likewise, they look up to all the Japanese runners as role models. Yeah.
Right.
What do you think, Jimmy, about Indonesian?
About Indonesian runner, I think we have a lot of social runners and quite limited of competitive runners, and which is I believe it's a good sign because people really, really enjoy running and as a healthy lifestyle. But at the same time, probably the way they train, I think needs to be more careful because most of them are in the community, in a group, right? and this particular group most of the time follow the trend. So new shoes, everybody goes buy new shoes. New way of and then they change the shoe when the other new shoes coming up. Just like what Andy said, you have to be proper when you get new shoe. You have to make sure that the shoes are suitable for your feet. And then at the same time, I think runner in Indonesia also they like to combine. For example, when they are training for a particular marathon, and in between they can switch and do a triathlon within the training plan. And probably that's the reason why most of them or many of them got injured before they actually run the race.
Okay.
But most of the but I believe in the coming years, or we become more and more knowledgeable, and the way we run as a whole, I think it's getting better.
Yeah, I think we are still a baby for this, this kind of industry. So, I mean, like the first marathon we have is only in 2013. So, but flashback to when I start the first running community in Indonesia, we only have like 5 people who run my race in 2008.
5?
5 people, yeah. And but now look at, I mean, like if there is no COVID right now, we almost have a race every weekend. So
exactly, yep, that's true.
Yeah, so it's very promising, and I myself is very happy with the what we accomplished right now in Indonesia. Yeah. So because we run out of the time now, so I have the last question from me to Andy and to Jimmy, because we come from a tropical country. Do you think running in a cold country like Japan is give us a lot of privilege, or just like you never know? I mean, like there is no difference. What do you think, Andy?
There's a big difference in terms of climate and humidity. Because our weather here in Southeast Asia is very humid, very hot, right? For example, 6-minute pace effort and 6-minute pace in a very cool climate in Japan or elsewhere in other country, the effort is different, even though the pace is the same, because of the humidity. Because when here it's very humid, right, you lose a lot of sweat and your blood become thicker. So the problem is that when your blood become thicker through losing of sweat, your heart need to pump harder. That's why you get tired faster.
Oh.
In a cool climate, you don't sweat so much, your blood don't get thicker so soon, so your heart don't require so much effort versus in our tropical climate. So that is the biggest difference, is the humidity. That's why sometimes when you're preparing a marathon training in Southeast Asia, when you're preparing for overseas race, right, sometimes if you don't hit your marathon pace here, it's okay, because it's very difficult to run a marathon pace. So sometimes when I advise my runners, say example, if your goal pace for your marathon is 6 minutes, in tropical climate, maybe you want to plus another 10 seconds slower, because to compensate the humidity, 10 to 15 seconds. Yeah. So when you travel to, say example, to Japan, you realize that running 6-minute pace is so much easy. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's very good. I mean, like it's very interesting to know, because we are very always nervous if we don't achieve like our marathon pace during the training.
That's why I think hydration is very important. Because in tropical climate, we lose a lot of sweat. We need to hydrate frequently to make sure that our blood don't get thick so soon. Some people just don't want to drink. As you realize that we don't drink, right? As the temperature goes up higher, and when the sun is out, you realize that your core temperature is getting hotter and hotter. You cannot run anymore because, everything is so difficult to run. Yeah. So frequent hydration is very important. Yeah. Especially even you go cold country, some runners' mistake is that from here, when we go to cold country, we think that, suddenly from hot, you go to cooling, you think, when you run a marathon, I don't need the water point, I just skip because I feel so good. That is a very big mistake. Even in cold country, you also need to hydrate yourself properly. Again, the idea is to keep your blood fluid, blood not so thick. Yeah. So frequent hydration, even in cold country, is very, very important.
And Jimmy?
Yeah, I think what Andy said hit the target. I mean, cold country definitely give you the benefit of running. However, on the downside is that if you run in the cold country, you need to watch out the pace, because like Andy said, when you run in the cold country, everything become much easier. So at the same time, 6 minutes per kilometer seems like really easy. So what happened was some runner actually run faster than their strategy. So because they feel, hey, I can do this, I can, I don't get tired, so they run faster. So that's the downside of running on the cool climate. And then the other downside is being so experienced in cramp. I felt like it's harder to release the cramp in the cold weather, because you have to relax your muscle, but at the same time you felt really cold. So the muscle is like locking all the time. So that's the downside. But other than that, definitely cool climate gives you benefit.
Okay, so teman-teman yang kebetulan mengikuti acara ini, jika ada kesempatan untuk berlari di negara dingin, boleh tuh dicoba supaya yang mau mencoba mendapatkan PB, boleh dicoba berlari di negara dingin, nggak usah jauh-jauh sampai ke Amerika lah. Mungkin Southeast Asia yang pada saat weathernya nggak terlalu panas seperti November, Oktober, tapi bukan rainy season, mungkin bisa dicoba untuk mendapatkan perbedaan waktunya. Okay, guys, before we end the session, so we have to, let's have a look from the sponsors that we have My Labs and Suka Outdoor and Sasana Sport Physio and SS Sport. Now I have to pick up a question from the participant. I have the admin already choose for us is from Elvis F. Anizar. Is for Tanaka-san.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tanaka-san, nowadays I often go for a walk, 5-10K kilometer every other day. The question is, how do you do your exercise in terms of strength training, knowing you have trouble with your meniscus?
Well, I think 2020 Tokyo Olympics, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's been postponed 1 year, but people are very disappointed. But I hope we can have a Olympic Games next year in July and August, and we can meet everyone all over the world. I hope.
Okay. So Tanaka-san, she also mentioned that you had a problem with your meniscus before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how do you know that you already you feel better with that, and you already in the phase of a recovery or over from that?
Yeah, because at that time when I started walking, at that time my meniscus is very painful. But after maybe I think every time maybe 4-5K every morning I walked very fast, like less walking, and after 6 months maybe muscle growing very well and covers knee joint area. So that's the reason why I could go jogging. I went to jogging possibly.
So you really need, but did you consult to the doctor, or you just feel better?
Well, I didn't see the doctor before and after the walking, but I felt nothing when I walked very well.
Okay. So the body...
maybe beginner should not run at beginning, just walk maybe, 4-5K for maybe, at least 3 months. Even, young people, maybe 3 months, maybe, but, it's, walking very fast. And, after that, start to slow jogging, then running. It makes a very good, way to train.
So it really takes some time, right? To recover.
Yeah.
And the next question that I get from Kenny Tan. So this is for Andy and for Tanaka and Jimmy. Andy, when is the right time to take zinc supplement? Is it after training or before bedtime?
Usually we take zinc, magnesium before we sleep, 1 hour before we sleep. And normally we take it without any calcium food, like Milo, all this we try to avoid. Yeah, so try to take it with empty stomach before you sleep. That's what I know about how to use zinc, magnesium. It's help to promote repair, but you take it before you sleep.
Okay, so it's very good tip because you take it before bedtime.
Yeah.
And with the empty
stomach.
Empty stomach.
That means you don't eat anything. Yeah.
1 hour before.
Yeah. Try to avoid calcium. Things like calcium also try to avoid.
Oh, that's a good to know. Yeah. So, so for the next question is from Lemon Lim to everyone. So, how do you know you have really hit your performance wall? Sometimes you feel that you have not trained well, so that you have not been improving your time, and you keep trying, knowing that you have reached your limit will prevent injuries. What about that, Tanaka-san? I mean, how do you know that,
Yeah, I think, prevention of the injury is the most important thing for the runners. Not only runners, but also all the, sports people. But, I'm, I think, warming up and also cooling down. Those two things are most important for the, sports. So, before the, training, running, I always, do, warm up for maybe at least 15 to 20 minutes for, light jogging and also the, stretching and some others. So, and also after the running, maybe I always do, 15 to 20 minutes, cooling down. So that's why I don't get any injury, recently.
Okay. And Andy, do you have any specific tips?
Yeah. As long as end of the day, we are not full-time professional runners, we will never reach the so-called the plateau state. Because the reason why you're not able to have a breakthrough is because maybe you haven't found the key to open the right door yet. You hit the door is because you haven't found the right key. So maybe you want to look back in your training program. That's why runners, why they engage a coach is because a coach can analyze from a different angle. What have you done correct? What have you done wrong? So they can help you to find the right key to open the right door. Yeah. So again, my last tip to runner is train to run, but not run to train. You understand? Train to run, meaning you build strength to reduce injuries so that you can actually have a breakthrough, not run all the time. Yeah.
Okay, and Jimmy, you have any tips for this?
Yeah, along the line with Andy, I think running is a whole 360 concept. You could take a look at the nutrition that you have, and then the training plan itself. You have to look at whether you're doing rest enough, and then on the easy run, whether you're actually doing the real easy run. And finally, try to concentrate on the strength training part.
Also, that's the key of the, to prevent the injuries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have the last question. It comes from Rani Setiani Sujana to everyone. a question for Andy about holistic approach to improve running that consists training, rest, nutrition. You didn't mention about the amino acid, and I didn't see any dairy products on the nutrition you recommended. As I know of milk content L-tryptophan, essential amino acids, which can help to sleep better. Is there any concern about its consumption for runners?
No, that's a good point to raise up. I could not literally list out everything, but I think what she mentioned is that protein, basically that is protein in general. You need the protein to encourage repair when you sleep. But again, some people are sensitive to milk, like me. I cannot drink milk. I'm lactose sensitive, so I take in soya milk instead. Yeah, but again, I also take the zinc magnesium when I sleep. So also again, I don't drink milk before I sleep. So you have to make a choice. So normally I drink soya milk during the day. So before I sleep, I take my zinc magnesium. Yeah.
Okay. So guys, Tanaka-san, Andy Neo, and Jimmy, thank you so much. We have already like 2 hours. Time flies when you very fast when you enjoy. Thank you so much, and I would like to thank you so much for your time and sharing knowledge. Dan untuk teman-teman yang sudah berpartisipasi malam ini, yang masih mempunyai pertanyaan kepada masing-masing narasumber, silahkan menghubungi email di Tribun.io dan ikuti Instagram para narasumber malam ini untuk tetap bisa berkomunikasi dari jauh. Dan pemenang yang kita pilih malam ini adalah 6 orang yang mendapatkan 5 voucher dari Sport Physio, adalah 1 Kenny Tan, kedua George Kencana, Leman Lim, Rani Bogor, dan Devi Daud. Sedangkan penerima untuk pemenang untuk kacamata Guder malam ini adalah Elvis F. Anizar. Selamat kepada para pemenang, dan tidak lupa kepada Tribun News, Warta Kota, Super Bowl, Indonesia Marathon, My Labs, Suka Outdoor, Sasana Sport Physio, dan SL Sport. Terima kasih untuk malam ini. Thank you so much Tanaka-san, Andy Neo, and Jimmy Pangestu. I wish you good luck and stay safe during this pandemic. And really appreciate your knowledge and your time for tonight.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
No, not yet. Dan untuk teman-teman jangan lupa pertanyaan malam ini di email, dan semuanya akan mendapatkan jawaban dari peserta narasumber dan juga mendapatkan e-sertifikat dari Tribun.io dan para narasumber Tanaka-san, Tanaka-san, Andy Neo, dan Jimmy Pangestu. Oke guys, selamat malam. Stay safe, stay home. If you don't need to go out, and then don't forget to wear mask. And sampai bertemu di acara greetings selanjutnya, persembahan dari Tribun.io yang kemungkinan untuk di 3 minggu kemudian kita akan mendapat kesempatan untuk berbicara dengan World Athletic dari Italy, dan juga 2 narasumber dari London Marathon, dan juga 1 dari female first marathon. So we will we will update you and send you email about it, and don't forget to register. Thank you so much, and we must appreciate it. Thank you so much, Andy, Tanaka-san, Jimmy.
Bye. All right.
Lu nggak ada lagu?